Your meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. Well, I hope so. Phil.
Next Advisory is now live, adding value beyond the numbers. Here we go.
How are you, mate?
Really good. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's good to see you. It's been
Likewise.
I haven't spoken to you since last week.
I went for a drive to see the wife and kids on the weekend because I'm self-isolating on my own.
Oh,
so they are my little support network. They're just a little bit further north, so I went and hung out with them in my bubble.
good
So
man.
that was a nice weekend to get away, not really do much on the work front, and recharge the batteries, ready for another exciting week ahead.
And that is very important at a time like this, especially when everything's normality is taken away from us, right? Trying to re-energize and stay positive and make sure you don't just do work and deal with the doom and gloom of what's going on out there.
Yeah, and look, let's let the fans know, big day for you yesterday in isolation. Yeah. Tell everyone about it.
Yeah, so I had my first birthday in isolation. It's not my first birthday alone, so I had a bit of practice. But I got through it. And yeah, 32 yesterday, feeling good, feeling nimble. Joints are getting a little bit stiff as I get a bit older. But all in all, been down to check the post this morning here at the apartment complex and no presents. So yeah, look, I've had to really build myself back up to
right. And Mama Kemeys, she didn't get anything through the mail, or?
Well, maybe she knew something we all didn't, because she sent me my present a bit earlier in March. So maybe she knew something was going down. They say mothers know everything, right? And mothers are always right. So
they do.
She sent me a Sharky mat, which is a whole heap of plastic needles that ram into your body, and apparently it's. So there we go. That was I'll spend a fair bit of time on that over the next 4 weeks, and potentially longer if we're stuck in there any longer than 4 weeks.
Good stuff. Well, happy birthday for yesterday, mate.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And then it is nearly a birthday for, it's I guess New Year's Eve almost, for businesses with the end of the financial year, which is a bit scary that another whole year's gone and we'll be into the 2021 financial year as of tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. A whole heap of accountants would normally be going out and getting blind drunk tonight because it's the end of the financial year, but I guess we'd be doing that on our own.
We might have to turn on a separate R18 stream to have a few beverages.
Can you buy and get delivered the old Sea Rock and some watermelon water?
Oh, that would be outstanding. I'm not entirely sure, but they have changed the central services you were just telling me. So
yeah, didn't see alcohol on that list, but look, I'm sure it'll come in time.
Well, I can tell you that cigarettes are obviously essential because the bloke next door here keeps smoking and it's filling up my apartment. So it's one of the biggest challenges I'm currently facing with this isolation is secondhand. Yeah, I never wanted to take it up as a career. Anyway, mate, what have you been dealing with? There's been a couple of little changes to the subsidy, right?
Yeah, I think we're up to wage subsidy version 27. Yeah. It's an ever-evolving beast on what are we, day, I don't know what of isolation, 5 or 6, but version 27 of the wage subsidy. I think the government have made it easier is the overall view. The leave payment that was there, people weren't really using, and they've made it a lot more clearer and simpler now that if you're in business, you've got employees, you can claim the wage subsidy based on whether they're full-time or part-time, and you use your best endeavours to pay them 80%. And if you can't, you pay them the wage subsidy, is my understanding.
Yeah. And there was a lot of chat around people paying casuals that didn't necessarily get paid the full subsidy. What do you do with the difference and all that sort of thing? So I've tidied that up as well. So it's of my recent or latest understanding that if you had somebody that doesn't usually get paid the full amount of the subsidy in their normal wages, you'd pay them their normal wages, and then you would use the difference between the normal wages and the subsidy to help fund wages for the other employees over the 12 weeks and beyond potentially. So yeah, cleared a bit of that up.
I mean, with something that's so fast moving and ever evolving, it's good to see that the government are keeping pace really and trying to keep cash flowing into people's pockets so that they can pay for the essentials ultimately through this what is to be a 4-week period, but potentially longer. Who knows?
Yeah, and speaking of 4-week periods, I think that the whole country is focused on this 4-week period because it's the lockdown, and we're looking for the positivity on the other side of that. And we've just had a few conversations with clients and different people in our networks about not just limiting your thinking and planning to that 4 weeks, because you need to be thinking what the next 12 weeks looks like, and then beyond that as well. We saw Air New Zealand come out and basically forecast that their income's going to be down $5 billion. So they're obviously forecasting way beyond just this next 4 weeks and this next 12 months, and their sector has been very, very heavily impacted. But business owners need to understand that they need to be doing forecasting and modelling in some way, shape or form as well, to figure out where there won't really be peaks anymore. It'll just be troughs, basically, right?
Yeah, that's a fair chunk of change to be without just a casual $5 billion. But yeah, you're quite right. And one client this week has been in touch, and we'd earlier suggested that we change the monthly forecasting that we do to a weekly model for the next few weeks, just to help with their visibility. And I suspect that as this goes on, more and more clients will want to be understanding their cash flow, what they've got and where it's going to be going. And if there's a shortfall, how they're going to be plugging it while we're in these crazy times.
Yeah, very, very smart from them, very proactive. What else is going on there, mate? You haven't seen any big updates? I saw, who was it yesterday? Radio Sport, obviously. So I think we're starting to see a big change in the media landscape as well, where some of these runways have been shortened for how long business could go on and whatnot. And with obviously no sport, it makes it tough for them to be able to even provide a show.
Yeah, and a plug here to Sky TV. Again, they're another business that is full of corporate layers, but are being agile in the moment. And for the customers that have signed up to Sky Sport, like myself, there's no live sport, so why are you paying for it? And my understanding is that they've stopped charging the Sky Sports subscription for a little while, and as a little sweetener, have given everybody Sky Movies for free for 3 months.
Wow, that's quite smart.
That is very, very smart of Sky TV to do that, and a massive gesture of goodwill. And I think an example of a company that is understanding the mood of the consumer and the fast-paced move of the market that we're moving in, and just understanding that everybody's at home, there's kids, school holidays, all that kind of stuff, and with devices being, at the forefront for most people these days, providing people access to various forms of entertainment. So for them to chuck in movies like that, for parents with kids with devices, it's going to make life easier. So well done, Sky TV.
Very, very smart. Yeah, and I noticed even myself that my phone gave me a notification yesterday saying that my screen time has gone through the roof. So people obviously spending a lot more time on their devices. So a big opportunity there for people that can deliver content and value.
Mate, I'm surprised your phone is coming up and telling you that you can spend even more time on your phone. I thought you'd clocked that.
Yeah, look, I did set a limit on it, and that was, I'm trying to target that rather than limit it. The reverse of people. All right, mate. Well, that's good. Good to see that the wheels are still turning. We're going to be busy boys from tomorrow as people start to require information for their financial sets of accounts. We've already seen banks asking for those, and the end of the financial year wasn't even here yet. So I think it's going to be time pressure.
Year end. It's going to be an interesting one for the ones that are going to be focused on it, knowing that it is year end, and then the other ones that are still coming to grips with the cash flow challenges that their business are faced with. I'll be very interested to watch the government business support package evolve over the next couple of weeks as we come closer to the end of the 4-week period. What are they going to do? Are they going to reduce down the wage subsidy and then put the onus back on the businesses to then get back into a normal routine? Or if the lockdown carries on, are they going to change the wage subsidy and potentially increase it so that people have got a little bit more cash? Because to be 4 weeks at $585 a week gross is not a huge amount of money for your average New Zealand salary. I think for New Zealand businesses, just one thing from a tax point of view, be mindful that you still pay it in your usual pay cycle. So if you're paying weekly or fortnightly, pay the wage subsidy weekly or fortnightly. If you pay it out in a lump sum to your employees, thinking that you're doing a good thing by them, you're potentially going to create tax issues, because that lump sum would go through for the year end 31 March, and there could be a bit of a shortfall in tax and push people over to top tax brackets, or higher tax brackets rather, and they might end up with a tax bill.
Then they're not going to know why that is and how come.
No. And there have been cases of where some employers think they're doing the right thing and the good thing by just giving the lump sum to the employee, but it will probably do a little bit more harm. And then just on the cash flow management point of view, when you get a lump sum of cash, it may not last you the 4 weeks. Just be mindful of how that's being paid.
Yeah, and like you say, we're going to have to keep an eye on what happens out there in terms of, whether the government wants people to take business loans to help fund some of these shortfalls, whether they'll increase subsidies, whether they'll let people access their KiwiSaver, who knows. I have a feeling that, they'll be already focused on what the end of the 4 weeks looks like. They've kind of given themselves a sort of, right, this is what the 4 weeks is, and now we need to figure out what post that 4 weeks is. So, yeah, tough task for the government, and I guess unfortunate thing for all of us understand is it's great and well to get these subsidies, but as a country and a taxpayer, we're going to be paying it back in time. So I'll probably start getting destroyed by the younger generations as I get older, saying, "Oh, you guys didn't know how to handle a worldwide epidemic. What idiots! We're going to repay your shitty response to it." That's going to be quite funny, but
and I think it's great that, and we touched on it last week, that the government have called on somebody like Rob Fyfe to act as a bit of an intermediary between government and the private sector, and I think he's going to be helping explain to government the road ahead for New Zealand business, that it's going to be slow and very, very long.
Yeah.
As much as it would be nice to have some rose-tinted glasses on, I think that after 4 weeks we'll be able to go out there, open our business doors, and people are going to come back rushing in. I think the reality of it is it's going to be very, very gradual, because we'll go from a level 4 down to a level 3. You might find that a region, if they're a bit more exposed to the virus than others, they might stay at a level 4 for longer, and then it'll be gradual down to level 2, level 1, and then back to normal. So that potentially may not be till closer to the end of the year, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's border restrictions, and then the getting back to people being able to move freely, not only around the country but internationally as well.
Yeah, tourism's definitely going to be decimated, and the flow-on effect of that will be large, because it is such a big piece of our economy. So we will watch that unfold and hopefully try and shield and protect some of our clients and people in our network and whatnot. But unfortunately, we are entering a time where we're going to have to reset a number of expectations, economies, and the money flowing through them.
Absolutely. And the key message being, once this winds down and we start and get back to normal, get out there and support local. I think that's really important. As much as it is easy to jump online and buy stuff from Amazon or wherever it is from overseas, I think maybe suck it up and spend the extra couple of bucks, if that's what it is, or the extra couple of 3%, 5%, and support New Zealand business, because ultimately there's business owners and their families that are going to be depending on it, and they in turn employ people, and we want to see more people get employed as the economy strengthens.
Bounces back.
Yeah.
It's quite scary what, beyond the economic impact, well, what flow-on effect on a health side the economic impact will have. I spoke to one of my mates this morning who was made redundant yesterday, and just reached out and said, don't take things personally in a time like this, because you just can't, because the market makes decisions so much faster than what a business can react to. It's just how we operate business in New Zealand, and this, I'm going to use the U word, unprecedented times. But you know, that's going to be tough for a lot of people to deal with. You know, to all of a sudden we're going to face one of our biggest unemployment rises in history, and we're not taught how to prepare for that, or how to cope with that, or how to deliver that message in a nice way. I've already seen some really culturally, for businesses, damaging correspondence between employees that have felt that they've been treated unfairly in the situation, that are, you know, seeking a bit of revenge and stuff like that. And that's not productive to anybody, and it's disappointing. But that, unfortunately, emotions are high, and we're not necessarily taught to deal with this stuff. So it's going to be hard for a lot of people. That's going to have a big impact as well on people's confidence and potentially their health and stress levels and stuff like that. So I think we're going to really need to have to ramp up some support in that space. And it's always good to say, oh, you know, put your hand up and ask for help. But whether people do that or not, it's a different thing, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. And talking about coming out the other side of this, I think it's a good reminder for businesses, or business owners rather, that are on this 4-week hiatus, to use this time productively. So make sure you've got a really structured routine. Get up and make sure you're doing something. A little bit every day is going to add up to a lot over the 4 weeks, and you'll be in a damn good position when we get to the other side to open the doors to your business and start to get some cash rolling in. So like we've talked about earlier, live videos, consider your audience, consider your marketing message, what your offers are going to be, and get ready to hustle like you never have before.
Oh yeah, right. We'll leave it there, mate. Bloody good stuff. We'll tune in with you later in the week. If anyone's got any questions, sing out. We can jump on here and answer them, so that we can answer many people's questions at once. We seem to be getting the same questions coming through. So we'll try and reiterate some of those so that people have the knowledge that they need. If there's anything you need a hand with, if you're too scared to ask in the comments, then just send us an email. Shouldn't use the word scared, but you know, you're worried about what people are going to think, etc. of some of your questions, then just send them to us. You know, we're going to keep
questions a dumb question, eh?
That's right. You know, everyone's got plenty of questions. We said in an earlier feed, we're in a webinar last week with 300 accountants, and it was mind-blowing to see how many of the same questions people were asking. So don't, now is not a time to try and, be proud and bulletproof and know all the answers, because there are no experts in a time like this. So put your hand up and get the information that you need. Righto, mate.
Bingo.
We'll talk to everyone soon. I'll end this and we shall carry on.